Hi, beautiful souls. I'm Nichelle, also known as the Chosen One. Welcome to my space where I share my insights, my experiences, and my reflections as I walk this path. Today, we're going to talk about acts of kindness, as some of you may also use the term paying it forward. I think it's very important to do acts of kindness as a chosen one walking this path. When you hold the light of the Most High and the light of, divine purpose, and you have a purpose of helping humanity and giving and love and kindness, you have to share that with particular people from time to time just to bring some kind of balance. I think it's so important to do acts of kindness for people, especially in these times. Like, for instance, today I was at the supermarket, and this happens to a lot of chosen ones. This guy was sitting in the entrance as you pull in. I seen him when I was pulling in, and then when I came out, I seen him again, and I was in a line, and he was just sitting there on the curb. And for some reason, when I was about to turn out and take a left, he was like on the curb. There was other people, but he locked eyes with me, and then just went like this with his mouth, saying like probably wanted to get something to eat. So I was driving off, and my spirit, I said, I don't have any money, and he's like, it's okay, So as I drove off, I'm thinking in my head, my spirit was, I'm like, oh, wow, because I don't usually carry cash on me. But all of a sudden, while I'm at the next light, I'm like, something says, oh, I think I have $3 in my pocket. So I said, something told me to pull over and turn around and go back and hand it to this man. And it took, for some reason, it was a little struggle for me to get there. It was just weird. So I'm like paying attention to the energies as I'm going back to give acts of kindness. So I make my way there, pull up, and I said, I forgot I had $3. And he was like, thank you so much. God bless you, man. So, the fact that he said God bless me is how I knew he was a familiar spirit of God, like me. Using the term God bless you, because some of them you give some people money that are less fortunate, at least seem less fortunate than you at the time. You give things and they don't say thank you and stuff like that. But to say God bless you, even though I gave him a physical item, he spiritually blessed me. So that's what I mean by acts of kindness, because he also gave an act of kindness back to me. I wasn't looking for anything, but a blessing is more than anything. Anybody blessing you and saying God bless you is more than the physical. He was very thankful. So I feel like you never know who you're going to walk into. You never know who you're going to bump into and who is struggling and in a time of need. Anybody in any walks of life could be struggling. Everybody's struggle don't look the same. That person that's looks like they are struggling in poverty, mindset and educational wise, could be on a whole nother level than you. It just could be something in their life that they went through, experience outside of that brought them to that point. It could be anything. That's why I always say, like, people that are so egotistic operate in their ego and operate in their ignorance and operate in their pride, and they be in these high level positions in life, or like in these like positions of authority, and they look down on other people that look like they're low poverty. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. Okay? Don't ever judge a book, because you never know who that person is. You never know if God is testing you. Okay? Because I sometimes used to remember when I would see poor people or people that are in low poverty asking or begging or panhandling sometimes. I used to be around people that be like, don't give them that, and they probably got this and they probably got that. And that's true. There are some people that are playing off of that. But I say, like, if you're giving from a space of acts of kindness, whether that person is being manipulative or not, that's not your business. you were being kind to that person. So even if that person was trying to be manipulative and is not poor, they're going to get their karma for that. But you just pay attention to who you are. It's not your business. If you feel like you want to give to somebody and they look like they're less fortunate, but you don't know if they're really struggling or not, it's not really your business like that. It's just about who you are, not really who they are. But spirit is watching who you are. We're all being tested in those times. So regardless if that person thinks they're playing you or they're trying to be tricksters, they're gonna get their karma. They're gonna meet their day. They're gonna meet their timing. But you gave an act of kindness. You're still acting in God-like ways. So it's really not your business whether you give it or not. That's for some. I look at it like that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like me sitting here trying to judge whether they're poor or less poverty or not. I mean, if it's obvious that they aren't, then okay. But to sit there and judge them and make judgment on someone that you don't really know what they're going through and say, oh, I'm not giving nobody and I'm not giving nothing. You know, it's about the energy that you're embodying. We're all being tested at the end of the day. So I say, pay it forward, you guys. Do some acts of kindness, because the more you give out, the more God blesses you. And it's not always going to be, your blessings are not always going to show up physically. It's going to show up on your experience. It's going to show up on your integrity, learning, understanding, and patience, and building yourself higher spiritually and in an energy that's so uplifting and so positive. Okay? Sometimes that's how God pays you back. He rewards you. And then also your spiritual ranking as well. So don't always look at things from a physical perspective. Look at it as how highly vibrating you are vibrating in the spiritual, and how protected you are. Because when you give to people and you pray for people, and this person clearly had less than me at the moment, at least so it seemed. But at the end of the day, we both came together through God. He said, God bless you. I said, God bless you. We're blessing each other. You understand what I'm saying? Just like when you give out, what is it called in church? When you give money out in church, in that little basket, was it your titles or your how do you say it? Your tilthies or something like that? What is it called? Hold on a second. So basically giving, an offering, and God just pays you back that way. So if you're giving out kindness to people and treating people, what if the shoe was on the other foot? You never know how the tables are going to turn in life. You don't know that. I'm sorry. I don't care how psychic you are. I don't care how your mediumship. You can get little insight on things, but in the moment don't last. Anything can shift, okay, at any given moment. So, always be mindful and always remember to give acts of kindness. It's very important to promote that energy. And also do things like that around your children, because they're always watching. You want to build kids to be more kind these days, because it's so harsh. The things that these kids are going through in school with bullying, and just like everybody's so social media hyped and what they see. So, be that teacher and show children and other people acts of kindness. Pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody when you can. Once a week, once a month, a couple times a year. Whenever you can, or when you feel called to. I felt called to turn around, because I don't always give money to everybody. You know what I mean? But I felt called. So pay attention to your intuition and ground yourself and shed the light, shed the love. Live in light. Until next time.